Hey, this is Tanisha, and we are continuing this video from the previous video. So this is part 2 of a 3-part series where initially I was testing a watercolor paper that I want to use for some sketchbooks that I want to make, and it actually turned into a watercolor study. So the first video, which I'll link above, was about it turned into seeing what I would think about a sketch made with a ruler. And so I'm pretty sure it's not going to be my favorite because I prefer to see people use their hand in their art and not just like a ruler. And I did like it and it looked really nice. I think it looked nice. So if you haven't seen the first one, check it out because I definitely want to know which one you prefer. And then there's going to be a third part to this series where I'm going to be even looser. So here I'm loose with no ruler in this video. And then the third one that's coming up, I'll be supposedly a little more looser. But yeah, we'll see. But so far, this is the one I didn't use a ruler. So I can tell there's a little bit of leaning to the building. I saw that here actually. And I was trying to fix it a little bit, but the goal was to be loose, right? So why try to fix it? You'll be able to tell a little bit of difference between this sketch and the last one because here I put a speaker in, which was actually in the original reference photo that I took. And I really feel like the speaker really added something. I still feel like the scene is plain and I should have added more to it. But again, initially I was not even planning on doing this study. So next time when I'm actually planning on doing a study, I will think more and include more items in the scene. So that's something to know. You know, if you're doing something like this, definitely plan to put more into it because it's a little bit plain. But I think it's okay if it's plain, especially if this is a study and it's not really meant to be something, you know, you want to show off per se. For me, this was really a study. It's not like I was trying to create this for any particular reason, although I will say I printed it out and I thought it looked really nice. Yeah, so it's always nice to print out your work and, you know, just check it out. All right, so I will say that for this particular video, I kept forgetting to press record. So I missed some of the parts of what I did here, but for the most part, I got most of the process. I feel like this is loose, but I've seen looser. And to be honest, I've already started on the third video, which is the looser one, and it still doesn't feel looser. I feel like I'm still a little bit tight. And maybe that's okay. Maybe that will be my style. And I'm okay with that. So I plan to keep experimenting, giving myself time to figure it out. You know, when I do these videos, I just want to be upfront with you. I'm sharing with you my journey as I go through this because this was a change that I didn't expect to make. I didn't expect to change to using watercolor. So for me, I'm just on this journey of finding my new way, my new style. So I appreciate everyone who has stuck around with me on this channel through these changes. And, you know, I try to share what I'm learning with you. I don't feel like I'm at a place yet where I can 100% say I can teach you this, but I feel like sharing what I've learned and sharing this journey, I hope it can be inspirational to anybody who's going through what I'm going through, having to change to a different medium without really wanting to. So I just appreciate those of you who have stuck around, and I hope you find it inspirational for your journey. Because I'm sharing, you know, the good and the bad. And so it's been a journey, but I'm learning a lot with watercolor. I'm starting to really enjoy it, and I'm so happy to be coming around the corner because at first I was not good with what was happening, that I was losing acrylic because I loved acrylic. But anyways, back to the artwork. Here you can see that I could have added more to the storefront. I could have added people, I could have added things to the window, but hey, it's okay. I'm learning. So But I feel like for these paintings that I've done from the first video and this video, I'm really happy with some of the values that I use, because it's very important to use different values in your art. So I was really happy about that. Happy about the techniques that I used here as well, because with watercolor there's a technique. But what I like is to figure out, can I get a little bit looser? Can I be a little bit more free? And so we'll see. I'm curious to what you think. Do you prefer the ruler or the non-ruler? And I'm sure you can see the building lean here. It's leaning a little bit, and I'm actually okay with that. I'm really fine with that. I'm not looking for perfection. So yeah, I could deal with this. So what I did at the end of this video, I'm giving you a view of this piece of artwork, and I'm showing you the first piece of artwork that I made in the first video. So with that being said, I should tell you about this paper. It is Hanamule, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, 100% cotton watercolor paper. So this is me actually trying out this paper, and it's not too bad actually. So I would buy it again, but I do plan on making my own sketchbooks. We'll see how that goes. I'll share that journey here. But I really want to make my own sketchbooks because I want to get a paper that I can get familiar with, get to know how it works. And not saying I'll never switch papers, but I just want to work with something more consistently and not constantly switching papers, because I do have a lot of different watercolor papers and they all work different, and it just would be good to get to know the paper I'm working with. So I'm really settling in, I think, on the Saunders Waterford paper. I'm not surprisingly a huge fan of Arches. It's not that it's not good paper. I feel like it's good paper. I'll never say never that I'll never go and use Arches. I'll never say that, but for me, I feel like it dries slowly, which is a good thing. But I notice when I use it, it spreads a lot further than I want. I feel like it's harder for me to control. It could be user error instead of an error with the paper itself. So anytime I've ever used Arches, and once it was fine, but sometimes, more times than not, I just wasn't a fan of it. And it's not so much that it's not a good paper. I think what I'm learning is that there's certain papers that you like and certain papers that you don't. It's a personal preference. I used to wonder why people say, you have to test it for yourself. And the truth is, you really have to test the papers for yourself, because I'm very slow when I paint, and I need a paper that doesn't dry too fast or too slow. And I feel like that's what I like about Saunders Waterford. It doesn't dry too fast or too slow for my painting style. So it just really fits me. So I'm gonna say, I don't think there's any paper that's really bad. I think it's paper that's bad for a particular person, but I think there'll be one person that will love that paper and there'll be another person that hates that paper, and that's okay. So I'm really enjoying learning everything I can about watercolor paper, and I've learned so much, and I'm just really starting to feel like the future is bright in terms of where my art is going. And so right now I am coloring in these windows of black. I really wish I would have done something different. I painted these black because that's what the windows look like in the reference photo, but you don't always have to follow the reference photo, but I did. I didn't follow it entirely, but here The windows I did. One of the things that I could have done, if I didn't put anything on the outside of this building, what I should have done is made a scene on the inside of the building, and that would have made it a little more interesting. So it's funny to me how we can know some of the things that we should do, but may not do them. But again, I give myself a little grace on this because I didn't initially plan on doing a watercolor study. This was just a building I was going to test the paper with. So I really hope you are enjoying this version. I would love to hear what you think about the first version versus the second version, whether it's about, do you like the ruler versus non-ruler? Do you like the speaker that was added to it? Does the leaning in this photo bother you, or does it make it look a little more artsy? I'm just curious. I did kind of what they call a, I don't know the word, I can't think of it right now, but I did perspective without the ruler pretty much. So I just kind of, I forgot the word. I'm always saying it, and today I can't remember it. But yeah, I didn't use a ruler for the perspective. So, let me know what you think about that, if you know what perspective is. So, and then if you didn't watch the first video, you may not know that I did end up utilizing gouache for the words on the building, because it was just too hard for me to try not to paint over the letters. So, and gouache is really good about going over top, so that worked out pretty well. Anyway, so here's going to be the comparison between part 1, which was with the ruler. This is part 2 actually, so this is without using a ruler, just me using my hand to sketch and do perspective. And then I'm going to show you now part 1, which was the drawing with the ruler. So please let me know in the comments which one you preferred, and I'll be talking to you in the next video.